All right, so we're gonna do our first film session of this off season, this draft season, and it's gonna be Tua because people had a lot to say. So let me put some qualifiers out here first before we get started, so that you completely understand what I am saying. Number one, I do not care if you don't agree with me. That is perfectly fine. I am not here to make you agree. This is not a persuasion channel. This is just me telling you what I think. If you watch it and you evaluate it differently, that's all fine and dandy. I have my philosophies that I've been doing for years and continue to tweak, and that's the way I see the game. Okay, number two, this is one game. I completely understand that. It takes a long time to break down even one game. You could spend an hour breaking down one play. I do not have time to sit here and do a bunch of games in one video. So I understand that, but we're talking about overall skills. So we're just picking out a game. I chose the LSU game. Number one, I want to pick a game that had a clear video because not all of them do. This is probably one of the most clear. And on top of that, it's good competition. So wanted to see that. Nothing else. No, like a bunch of people. Oh, why don't you pick this game? What you pick? Look, pick a game with some good quality. Pick the game with some good competition. That's the one I chose. And so I'm gonna just take you through what I am seeing. Again, this is not me justifying what I think. This is not me combating what you think. This is me telling you how I see it. And if we see it differently, that's fine. I do film sessions all the time. Some people think they train better or different, and that's cool. That's your way to look at it. I'm not about to argue with you about that. Yeah, so I think that's everything except to say that it's on lay YouTube, so it's not the best. So if you're used to me doing like film sessions with the NFL stuff, A, there's no coach film. B, the player isn't the same, so I can't like fast forward and rewind 10 seconds. So it's going to be a little more choppy in that sense. But yeah, I think that's about it. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get this started. And it'll be playing at 75% speed just so we can look at stuff more. And I'll just take you through what I'm seeing. So play action here. We're in the pocket. The pocket's clean. I'm fine with all that. Gets the throw. Complete. We're all good. Now, what I would do and what I'm going to do is I would go back and see the actual pass. It's not just completion, because some people will say, well, he completed the pass, so accuracy numbers, but that's not how accuracy works. Accuracy is about ball placement. So I want to see how difficult the throw was, where's the ball placement, all that good stuff. And this one, he had to throw it underneath the safety, obviously. Nothing too spectacular on that particular play, in my opinion. So they count this as a pass. It's a jet pass. Doesn't mean much. All right, so now we're in the white zone. A little bit of a rollout. Or not really a rollout, a little bit of a sprint out. Gets batted down. And this is when you look at the throw in motion. Again, it's tight, but it's a little unorthodox to me. But we're throwing on a move, and you just look at the release point, in my opinion, when you're talking about passes getting batted down, especially that close. So anyway, so we know he fumbled, but I like to look at this pocket and see what we got. Now, obviously, we got some good prospects on here, so the pocket isn't too terrible. And this is one of the things that you'll notice. So when and where to step up in the pocket manipulation. In this instance, I wouldn't call it terrible. He sees the pressure and starts to move. Now, instead of stepping up and remaining a passer, this goes into scramble mode. Now, we're in the red zone, so I don't mind as much. Obviously, you want the ball security. So there's that. All right, so motion out of the pistol. So play action. And now the pocket as well. So the pocket collapsed. So now you're in trouble. What's your ability to get out of trouble? And again, I gave him a really great elusiveness in the pocket. We know Tua is a good athlete. He can get out of that trouble. Gets the ball off. Actually gets it complete. I like all that. So now here is a RPO look. So far you had jet pass. We had one pass concept. We had a sprint out concept. Now this is more of that RPO action with the slant behind it. So 2 things here. Number 1, prescribed play. I like to look at those. Obviously, okay, this is tweaking out a little bit. But, and this is where I wish I could slow it. So now we're talking about accuracy. So now it's a slant. And we're talking about particularly a slant to open space. Or really a skinny post. But either way, you're talking about an in-breaking route to open space, man coverage. This guy's trailing him. So now, as I talked about before, when you have quarterbacks in these situations, you have to be able to put it in front in man coverage, because if you don't put it in front, you're talking about being intercepted or batted down. So again, ball placement accuracy on that. Slightly behind, receiver didn't really have a chance. And now there's pressure in the face as well. And so I don't mind this as far as pocket work, because this is a blitz and you got a quick hit and play anyway. So this is you and your ability to throw against pressure. So stays in, doesn't run away from the pressure, stays in, makes the throw, but you see the result, the accuracy isn't top. So again, that's just how I'm processing that information. So now we got a sprint out. Throws the ball away. I like that decision. So in the pistol again. Motion here, swing screen. Well, you could call it screen, but it's a swing screen. So again, prescribed play. So now we got pressure again. And again, I like that decision making. I'm fine with that. You see pressure, you try to roll out, get the ball away instead of forcing the pass or taking the sack. I'm all good with the decision. Pistol again, play action. Throwing against pressure. And so, obviously, this could be a miscommunication between who, we don't know. The ball's nowhere near in the receiver's vicinity. So some type of miscommunication. So can't really say much about the accuracy in that point. So now we got a real pocket. And that's one of the plays you like to see. Step up, make a throw. Use your momentum, make a throw. The throw is accurate, obviously, to the hands. All good to go. Now, we got another blitz. And so, hangs into the pocket with this blitz. Pressure's coming. Not really anywhere to go in this pocket. And again, without all 22, that would be a lot more about information about these quarterbacks. But we can see he's reading the field. ends up deciding to check it down instead of taking the sack. And it's hard for me to be mad at the decision when I can't see the other routes. And that's the big thing people gotta realize. You don't have all 22, so don't act like you know everything that's happening with these quarterbacks. So there's the tunnel screen, another prescribed play. Out of the empty. Now we got a regular pocket. And again, evades and then takes off. Can't really see what's downfield, so we don't know. Evades that sack though. And just pulls it down to attack for the first down. All right, RPO look again. And now again, this ain't man coverage. This ain't nobody on his back. This is pressure in his face. That ball hits his hand a little high. I wouldn't say terrible at all, but you can see that is off schedule. Let's just say that. Of course, there's the adage, it hits your hand, you should catch it, but we know that's not the ball placement you want. That's pressure in his face. So takes the short, and now this is when we're talking about decision making. We're also talking about playing the change, 2nd and 15. Takes the short route and man coverage, doesn't get much. Again, understanding we don't know the other plays downfield. All right, so out of trips, regular pocket, steps up into the throw. I like that. Good timing, good throw. Now this one, receivers got steps on them, pretty easy. Just got to get it in this vicinity. Nice throw. All right, so quick little play action. Now that's a prescribed play. Not sure what they were trying to accomplish, but you saw he stared him down the whole way, then just threw it away. Another prescribed play. Play action, screen back the other way. Another prescribed play. See, we got trips to the right. So we got a drop back. Now interception. Now the pocket's fine. Pocket's clean. Stays in there. Makes his throw. And we got all 22, but obviously you can see that it wasn't a tip or anything. That was like right in front of him interception. So in this type of play, I like to look at his eyes, see what he's looking at. And he's coming off one read to the next read and throws the interception. So that wasn't the first guy he was trying to get it to. And actually, they're doing a replay in all 22, which is nice. So we could go ahead and look at that. And to me, it looked like he was coming here short to Judy just to get him the ball in space. Is where he wanted to go. But then wasn't there. So he peeled off to Ruggs, his next one. And he just put the ball up without even really looking because he was right there. All right, so shotgun. RPO again. Prescribed play. Now, this is the third time on this RPO. And now you could say before there's pressure in his face. There's pressure in his face. You look at this time, no pressure in his face, just his pass way behind the receiver. Fake bubble one way, screen the other way, another prescribed play. All right, so drop back, blitz coming again, throwing off his back foot. That should have been caught 100%. Now it's 1st and 10, so this decision I'm not too mad at. You see it's in man coverage. It's not really a lot there. But drifting back. Oh. And I'll be fair, as far as where the pocket is, it's not a whole lot of space for you to really maneuver there. And so 1st and 10, I'm not mad at that. Empty set, drops back, clean pocket, steps up into it. Judy dropped that, should have been caught. Nice pass. Now look, and again, so we're at the 50, a little past the 50. So also understanding where you are when you make those throws. Making a 20-yard deep pass is not the same as making a 40-yard deep pass. So here you got clean pocket. A lot of time in the pocket. And we see him going through his different reads. And really, I mean, this is a form of play extension, not by the quarterback, but by the receivers. Pulls it down, doesn't want to go there, but he's got all day. Eventually, somebody comes open. Nice strike. All right, so play action here. Fake bubble. Now again, a missed throw. You see in the pocket. Pocket's not bad. Steps up. Makes a throw. Has the space to make a throw unaltered and misses. Play action again after the jet. And that's a nice back shoulder fade. Really nice catch by the receiver as well. Drop back. Fakes one way, screen the other way. Another prescribed play. Got the orbit motion. RPO. Now that one I would say is part interference, part referee as well. But we've seen how Tua has been on those passes so far. So drop back, clean pocket, blitz in his face at the end. Now I would say that's the receiver making a play, me personally. But putting it up and giving his receiver a chance, I'm not mad at that. Little play action, roll out, half roll out, and we saw that was a miss. Now we got the pocket again. And see, for me, that shouldn't be a sack. There's too much time there for that to be a sack. I went back too far. That was a missed throw in the end zone. So, but yeah, here, there's just too much time for this to be a sack, in my opinion. Like, you're so back in the pocket. Now, step up somewhere. Step up, make a throw it away. Don't just plant yourself in the pocket. So that was a drop. Again, pocket's not bad. Stepping back, standing back in the pocket. On the hands. Should have been caught. So now we're 3rd and 19. We're way behind the sticks. And that's the other part too of that second down throw is the decision making as well. So now we step up. Nice strike. I like that. Now again, understanding, here's the big part, and here's the part people aren't going to want to hear. understanding also what type of throws are we making. These in-break-in routes, and we didn't see it. Might have been man coverage, might have been zone or not. Based off what he's doing, it could have been a man with a middle zone. Could have been a lot of different things. But when you see these crossers, these drags, that's huge in college. Just wide open to open space. There's margin for error. Now, I think he put the ball there nicely, but there's margin for error when you're making that versus when you're doing those man-to-man coverage throws like earlier where it actually has to be in the right spot. And so you want to see if a quarterback is doing a lot of those. So here's the RPO again. Tough coverage. I don't think the accuracy was bad on that one, to be honest. Play action from under center. Sitting back in the pocket. Nice, easy throw. So step back there. Lose the pressure. Nice. Throws it away. Receiver doesn't really have a chance. The time is off anyway. 4th down and 4. Stops in the pocket. Makes a throw. Tua's arm angle is so weird to me. I just thought that ball was going somewhere else. But makes a nice little throw underneath. Easy. Orbit motion. RPO. Or not really RPO. Well, yeah, technically it's an RPO. But anyway, prescribed play. He knew where he was going. Got the motion again. Drop back. Pulls it down. You see him going through. Ends up getting tipped a little. And again, that trajectory angle from the passes, that's something you want to look at too. Now, it looked like that got tipped to me. Same RPO look. I think the defender made a good play. I wouldn't say that was on Tua. So now this one, he's looking at Judy the whole way. Easy throw for the red zone. Drops back. Pressure in his face. Puts it up. And that's a nice drop in the bucket, especially with pressure in the face. Touchdown. All right, so there we are with that. Now, here's the thing you also got to realize, as I mentioned before, this is one game. So there's obviously some patterns that I see that I mentioned before that I saw happen throughout other games. And we're only looking at this one isolated one. So again, if I was to just break, now obviously I already broke down to it, but if I was just to break down that game, like if it was fresh to me, again, kind of the same things. The pocket is not exactly there. There's not a lot of times where he had to have it there. And so that's something I would want to go into other games looking at. Does he have the ability to manipulate and work the pocket? Some other things I want to look at is that medium range accuracy, especially against man coverage. And typically this is most quarterbacks, because you'll see the completions again in zone against zone. And this is where I get zone eaters from. And so I want to see, is in man coverage, in tight windows, have you made any of those type of completions? Then I want to see, is these prescribed plays prevalent in the offense? You see how many times I named them in this one. And so I would go through other games and see, is it the same? Was it that just the game plan for LSU? Or do you have a lot of prescribed plays? Because that does tell me what the coach thinks about you. That does tell me your experience of what you had to do. And so that's something that would come up and I would want to continue to look at. The deep ball looked good in this game. Obviously, other games I didn't feel that, but the deep ball looks pretty good. With pressure in his face, I think the accuracy, or like with pressure coming or contact, I think the accuracy does drop a little bit in terms of his overall accuracy. And so that's something that I would continue to look at as well. Sorry for the sirens in the background, but yeah, so that was just some thoughts. Anyway, hopefully that is a little helpful and people can kind of start to piece together their own opinions, of course. But I would say the biggest thing, like anything with draft, is make sure it's a consistent thing. Don't just watch one game. Definitely don't watch highlights and say that's what it is. So, yeah, you want to make sure that it's actually happening over the course of the season. So that's me. So anyway, share it around, get the conversation started, thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.